Hi, everybody. Welcome back to another episode of Bleeding Blue and Gray. Today, we're going to do something a little different. We're going to compare Big East coaches to rappers. Hip hop and basketball has a long history, and we thought we'd talk a little bit about it. Owen is a big rap fan, so am I. So it's just a natural thing that we would eventually get around to this. So stick around. You'll probably hear something about your favorite coach or your favorite rapper. Owen, what's up, man?
Nothing much. What about you?
I am so happy it's Friday, and I was so looking forward to this this episode because it's a subject that's dear to my heart. I don't know if you follow, if you see Ron and I and Kyle talk a lot about old school hip hop on Twitter. So would love for share my passion for it with other people.
Yeah, absolutely. I mean, I love just rap, but also music in general. I think it's a thing that everyone kind of just listens to. Everyone obviously has their preferences of who they like, and I feel like today we're gonna go in basically every direction of rap because there's so many different types of coaches in the Big East.
I think we'll obviously learn a lot about each other's musical taste, but I think once we post this, people will weigh in and be offended and be excited and all. It'll be a good debate.
Yeah, 100%.
Learn a lot about our audience.
Yeah. So let's get started with the one and only Rick Pitino from St. John's.
We should probably tell people how the format, what we're going to do.
Yeah, go ahead.
So we are covering 5 coaches today, and we're only comparing them to living rappers. So no Tupac, no Biggie, no Nipsey Hussle compared to Thad Matta. It's just guys that are in the game right now. So go ahead.
So let's get started with Rick Pitino. Obviously, he is probably right now the best coach in the Big East. He has a huge tradition in college basketball. Everyone knows his name. He's won a few championships, whether that was legal championships or he cheated. I guess we'll never know. But I'll start off with who I have for him. I have Mr. Jay-Z. And the reason why I have Jay-Z is because it's a legendary career. There's Hall of Fame energy. It's decades and decades of building dynasties. And like you walk into any gym or any concert, you're going to see the respect that Rick Pitino has, just like Jay-Z. I think Pitino is basically the veteran, but he's also kind of the king of rap, which is kind of where I would place Jay-Z of living rappers. I think everyone has to acknowledge Rick Pitino. He's one of the best coaches, and I think that is very similar to how Jay-Z is in the rap game currently.
Yeah, that was my comp too. Everything you said. Jay-Z, great rapper over multiple decades. Has lots of wonderful albums. People, Rick Pitino has one championship and another that's contested. I don't acknowledge vacated ones. That was 2013. Yeah. Both have been questioned throughout their career as whether or not they're over the hill. Both have a little bit of controversy. Both New Yorkers. Pitino from Long Island, Jay-Z from Brooklyn. So I think it's a great. Yeah, I think it's a great. I don't think there's any other comparison you can make.
Yeah, what's your favorite Jay-Z song?
Probably Public Service Announcement from the Black Album.
Yeah.
What about you?
Empire State of Mind.
Okay, cool. As a New Yorker, that makes sense.
Yeah.
What do you think is his best album?
Well, I don't really follow him as much as other people, but I would say the one where Empire State of Mind is in it, and then there's a few others that are in it, but I don't really listen to him compared to the other artists I'm going to be talking about today.
I have not listened to Jay-Z. Like, I couldn't tell you what his stuff has been over the last 15 or 20 years. I would say Blueprint is probably my favorite. That came out in 2001. And you know what? I'm going to revise my pick for my favorite Jay-Z song. It's not Public Service Announcement. It's Takeover off Blueprint.
All right. So now let's move on to the next coach. He's a new coach to the Big East, which we always love to see how those coaches do in their new situations with their new teams. And we're going to be going to the other Pitino, the son of Richard Pitino. Do you want to start off with this one?
Yeah, I compared him to your favorite rapper, Drake. I think they're both very talented, successful. They had a lot of success early. They know how to use the modern tools of the trade. But no matter what they accomplish, people are always going to doubt them. They're going to talk about what advantages did they have to get here. They always have something to prove. So,
yeah, I mean, I disagree with that because I kind of went a different route.
okay.
I don't know if you know this rapper. I said French Montana,
Of
and
course I do.
yeah, the reason why is because I think it's a known name. He has a few hits,
Okay.
some hype, but he's never really even close to the list of best. And I think he's more recognized than feared in the game of rap. French Montana. I think that's the same thing as Pitino. I think Pitino, his last name kind of carries him, as you said. Obviously, there's gonna be people doubting him. I just think his last name carries him more than his actual coaching. Obviously, he's had good teams, but I just don't see it. I don't see Drake. I see him as French Montana, kind of. He's more recognized than feared, as I said. I don't see him as coaching the Xavier team to being a good team this year, and I think it will take him a couple of years because although he's able to bring in these 10 guys in the transfer portal, like most of them, you don't even know their name. So for me, I'd have him as French Montana.
What do you think about him as Corday?
I actually don't know who that is.
Oh, Corday was in YB. Anyway, okay, so you don't know, then we won't discuss it. But Corday is out of the DMV. I would love for Georgetown to be associated with him.
Yeah,
but he's a newer guy. All right, let's move on to number 3.
So number 3 is Shaheen Holloway from Seton Hall, probably most known for his days at St. Peter's. And I compared him to Meek Mill. I think he kind of has that energy. He's a scrappy coach. He's a fiery coach. He's always the underdog in basically everything he's ever done. He went to a St. Peter's team that kind of got brought, I think, Final Four, Elite Eight, led by Dougie Buckets, kind of one of my favorite years to ever watch college basketball. I mean, he just led them, and there was no question that they were ever going to get to that spot, and he did it. But I feel like he also plays every game like he has something to prove. He's not playing for like Pitino, where Pitino doesn't really have that much to prove anymore as a coach. Shaheen Holloway does. And I think it's exactly what Meek Mill does in basically every rap. He has something to prove. He's a fiery guy. He's a hype guy. Everyone listens to hype music from him. So I would go with Meek Mill as his comparison.
That's an interesting comparison. I totally agree with you that there's a grittiness to Shaheen, and especially the way they play defense, and that he's often disrespected, I think, by other people, or just overlooked, or I think people sometimes think he's way too commercial because you hear a lot of it, on a lot of hype mixes, and he's definitely in like arenas and stuff. But
yeah, I mean, for example, my sports kind of mix, the first song I listen to before I play sports. I play hockey, so before I go out on the ice, the first thing I listen to the last thing I listen to is Dreams and Nightmares by Meek Mill. It's kind of my hype song. It just gets you kind of in that like fiery hype mood, and that's just kind of reminded me of Shaheen Holloway the most.
So the guy I compared him to, also out of New York, been in the game older, but I thought their grittiness and New York credibility really matched up, was Nas. So obviously Shaheen has not been around as long as Nas, but I think that Elite 8 run in 2022 where they were a 15 seed and they just killed so many giants and then they ultimately lost to UNC is a masterpiece. That's his Illmatic. No matter what happens at Seton Hall, they're never going to be able to take that away from him. That's going to get him probably 1 or 2 more jobs. And I just think they have a lot of come. They're selling toughness, both of them, and they're both, like I said, they're both New York guys.
Yeah, I definitely see that comparison.
Also, unclear whether or not they're overrated at this point,
Yeah,
or at least past their prime.
yeah. So if I kind of have nothing to really say about that one, I kind of just agree. So I'll move on to the next one, which is kind of my favorite topic to kind of talk about. I feel like other than Georgetown basketball, which is Kim English, the worst coach in the Big East, who will not be in the Big East next year. And I compared him to Blueface. And there's a very specific reason I compared him to Blueface. It's because everyone knows the name Blueface. Everyone knows a few of his songs. He has a little buzz, but when pressure hits, he's always exposed. He's kind of a joke more than an actual rapper. I think all of his songs are kind of just like really just big jokes that he hopes to get live on TikTok. And I just think Kim English is a joke. So I just think he's more of a joke than a powerhouse. He more than a coach of a powerhouse. I think that he's not a good coach. Blueface is a joke just like him, and I just thought that was the perfect comparison to talk about.
Yeah, that's going to get a lot of engagement from Providence fans. So I appreciate that. The guy I compared him to was J. Cole. So I think, this was a really tough one because Kim English is not necessarily a flamboyant guy. I think his great strength is recruiting, but other than that, I can't say he's like a brilliant X's and O's guy or has like this really cool personality.
Yeah, I mean, it doesn't matter if you can recruit if you can't gel it all together, which Kim hasn't really been able to prove. Like, he obviously has the names this year, but he can't gel them together. It's just not going to happen. It's Kim English. It's not Ed Cooley.
Yeah, I think why I made the comparison with J. Cole is they're both young. They're very articulate, very introspective. The media loves them. They're not the loudest guys in the room. But there's like a quiet power around Kim. I respect him a lot more than you do.
Yeah, I mean, yeah.
J. Cole has his specific lane. He doesn't really move too much from that.
I mean, my respect for J. Cole is definitely way greater than Kim English. J. Cole's probably one of my other favorite rappers that I listen to very often. I see what you're saying, but I don't agree with it because I think that Kim is just like, I like J. Cole in the rap game compared to Kim is in like college basketball, college coaching. I just don't think there's any like similarities, to be honest, because J. Cole, I think, is one of the best rappers in the game currently. He probably gets some of the closest to the top of views for songs, new songs. Everyone knows J. Cole. Kim English, I think he's just a horrible coach. He doesn't know how to coach a team. He can't put it together. Everyone's saying, oh, this team's going to be so good. Yeah, I think they could make March Madness, maybe fall out of March Madness, in my opinion. But they have players that they have to gel together, and Kim English can't do that. He's not the same coach as Ed Cooley. We have Shagman, who I don't think there's any chance that he can work in Kim's just system, because we've seen he basically has no regular IQ, which probably means no basketball IQ. I mean,
he doesn't have a Georgetown IQ. That's all.
I mean, looking at his Twitter, it looks like he has no IQ at all. I mean, I'm actually happy that we don't have this guy on our team because he kind of just feels like he's a cancer to a locker room.
He's been around a lot. I'm always suspicious of guys that are always transferring.
Yeah, I don't know.
What do you think about this? This was my second choice. What do you think about Vince Staples?
Vince Staples. That's another one that I'm not too familiar with.
Vince Staples, is a West Coast guy. So I think they're both pretty intelligent, witty, analytical in their raps. Check out Vince Staples. I think you'd like him.
Yeah, I mean, I'd also compare. I don't know if you know who this is, Kim English, to KSI. KSI is just like kind of a joke YouTuber that gets flamed for basically everything. It's kind of just like Kim.
Wait, did KSI lose to in the what was the boxing match? Who was he fighting?
Logan Paul.
Yeah,
I don't remember. I think KSI won, I think. But I just think Kim is not a good coach. J. Cole's way too good of a rapper to compare them. But that's just my opinion. And as I said, Kim won't be a coach in the Big East next year. But moving on to the best and my favorite coach, who's better than Dan Hurley, Ed Cooley, Georgetown. You could go ahead first with this one.
This was probably the toughest because obviously I'm biased towards Ed and wanted
There's no
to be.
bias if it's true, though.
It's not a bias if it's true, right? Or I should say, it's because I'm biased doesn't mean I'm wrong.
Exactly.
I didn't, I wanted to be completely honest, and the guys I compared him to, I don't necessarily even really like, but I thought it was just apt. So I went with Fat Joe as the Ed Cooley comparison. Now I also thought about DJ Khaled. I thought about Rick Ross. Rick Ross and he obviously are both rich and rich as motherfuckers and talk about it. Khaled, the great master motivator.
Yeah, I mean, it just seems like you're just like naming. I don't know. I have him. Yeah.
Let me finish. So the reason why I went with Fat Joe is because Fat Joe started as a very, very New York rapper. Very few people outside of the tri-state area really were into Fat Joe. And so I was just like, that's cool. Cooley started off in New England. A lot of people, he obviously got his big break at Providence, but he was at Fairfield. I can't remember the college. Where did Cooley play college ball?
I'm not sure, to be honest.
But also in New England. And then he took a risk, became more popular. Obviously, when he went to Georgetown, got in a bigger spotlight. To me, that was equivalent of Fat Joe's Lean Back. He really became more unknown to a broader audience and really has taken off since then. So it was tough. This was really tough. I really wanted to push the button on Rick Ross, but I couldn't.
Yeah, it's a Stonehill, by the way, where Ed.
Stonehill, that's right, where he played Stonehill.
3 years. Yeah. So in my opinion, you named this guy before. It's Drake. Drake is obviously my favorite rapper, as you said before. I probably listen to Drake. Most of my music is Drake, and I think he's my favorite. Ed Cooley's my favorite. He's the face of rap. Ed Cooley's the face of the league. They're both just always in spotlight. They're always going to be getting talked about. He can win with any roster. He can adapt. He's someone who stays relevant no matter what. And just that's kind of similar with Drake. Drake can literally give out the worst piece of music of all time, and people will talk about it because it's Drake. And I just think the same thing. This is something that I think just goes with both of them. You can hate them or you can love them, but you cannot ignore either of them. There's no possible way to do it, and that's just who I think resonates with Ed Cooley the most.
You know what? I was prepared to hate that take, but I think I see some truth in it. I think especially the part about them being very polarizing, and that you still have, no matter what, you still have to pay attention to them. Now, what about Drake? Is also, do you think other rappers like Drake?
Like as a person, or like?
Yeah, like as a person. Obviously, they collaborate with him.
I mean, yeah, I think. Well, I know that from people that have met him, like other like famous people, that he's a amazing guy. I feel like obviously Kendrick Lamar is not gonna like him, but I guess people who are scared of Drake and think Drake is stealing their spotlight will not like him, and people that realize that Drake is just above them and that's just really how it's gonna be will like him. I think a lot of the thing in the rap game is just getting money, being famous, and I think. But I know he has good relationships with a lot of rappers.
Okay, why don't you tell our listeners about who else is coming up, or give them a little tease for part 2 of this.
So for part 2, we have obviously I'll give some names. We have kind of some of the names that you actually named. J. Cole is going to be named. Nas is going to be named. Travis Scott, Big Sean. I'm just going to give a sneak peek, but also another video that I'll be dropping soon. I think this weekend is going to be the next Meet the Hoyas, and it's going to be Mr. Vince Iwuchukwu, who is an amazing player, big for our team, and very excited to do that video.
Yeah, are we allowed to use a rapper again in part 2?
Yeah, if you want to.
Because I'm thinking I might use J. Cole again now that I think more about it.
Yeah.
I'll try not to, though, because that's boring.
Yeah.
All right, so this episode, we are filming this on Friday. It's going to drop tomorrow, Saturday the 20th. Everybody, thank you so much for indulging us. This was really fun. Oh, and now I know a lot more about your musical taste. We should make playlists on Spotify or something like that.
Yeah.
In fact, we should have a playlist for the Bleeding Blue and Gray podcast, shouldn't we?
Yeah.
And we can do it. Yeah, let's come up with one of those and then share it with see who flames us. I'm sure Providence fans will weigh in with their favorite bullshit country pop songs they like.
Yeah. All right. Thank you, everyone, for listening. Please like and subscribe to the Big East Energy Network. I'm Big East Hoyas.
And I'm Hoya Optimist 33.
Thank you guys very much.
Until next time, let's go Hoyas.